So last week I made a video talking about why Moebius Quiver and the Orpheus Rigs was going to be one of the best damaging supers in all of Destiny with the release of Witch Queen and Void 3.0. And I just want to make this video to show you guys that that is actually the case. And I just wanted to show my full out build with this, with the new Void 3.0, like all my fragments, aspects, and that type of stuff. Also my weapon combos that I'm thinking about using with this, and also my future plans with this, because there's a lot of different things that we're going to be able to use as the season goes on in terms of fragment and artifact mods. So we're just going to see how my theory held up from last week and just break down the actual damage numbers and how much DPS this super can actually do. But otherwise, at the time of posting this video, I'll be live on Twitch. So if you guys want to come hang out, ask me any sort of questions, I'll be live over there. There'll be a link in the description down below. So I took the Moebius Quiver back over to the Colossus on Nessus just to compare 1-to-1 from last week to this week. And what I found out was insane. So the actual first volley that you shoot is going to be a much higher damage number. The actual base damage of it is a lot higher, but the boosted damage is technically a little bit lower. But overall, this evens out and ends up just being roughly around the same total damage relative to the power levels of the two different seasons. So if we go ahead and take a look at our 3 shots on the Colossus. Now, the first volley, this is without throwing a smoke bomb first. So normally I would recommend throwing a smoke bomb. You'll get that 15% debuff with the weaken. But otherwise, without that, the first volley did 172,000 damage. And then the next 2 volleys would have done 207,000 total damage per volley. But as you can see, the Colossus is dead way before all of those arrows get off. But the total damage would have ended up being 587,000. We're just short of that 600,000, and it's going to take me roughly 3 seconds. I waited a little bit longer, but as you guys can see, you can shoot all 3 arrows right back to back to back, even at close range. There's no more waiting. That first anchor is going to proc right away, so you can just get off all the arrows as quick as possible. But if we go ahead and calculate the DPS, it is going to be just shy of 200,000 at 195,000. And like I said, that is without the smoke bomb. So if we go ahead and throw that before we go ahead and start our tethers, we are going to surpass 200,000 damage per second. And then another amazing part about this super is the actual casting of the arrow doesn't take that much of your super bar, so you have a ton of time to cast all 3 volleys. So what you can do is shoot a lot of your guns and just do more damage in between volleys. Also, you're going to extend that debuff time, that 30% debuff on the enemy, out a little bit longer. So one thing you could do would be like a Wither Horde and a Lasting Impression rocket in between all of your different volleys. Also, make sure you have auto loading on that rocket. Otherwise, you can use the new Parasite Grenade Launcher. That thing is insane for burst DPS, and if you combine it all, you guys are going to end up with some crazy DPS numbers. I want to know in the comments what other weapon combos and processes you guys are going to be using with the volleys. But yeah, as you guys can see, it is roughly exactly what I said last week it is going to be, but one thing I couldn't have predicted is the artifact mods and the fragments that we're going to be getting as the season goes on. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. So let's go ahead and take a look at the artifact mod first, because it will also play into the fragment that we're going to be using later on once we unlock them. But if we go ahead and take a look at this last column, we have Devouring Depths. So casting your Void super while you are critically wounded or benefiting from Devour increases your damage with that super. Now, I don't know what the damage multiplier is going to be, but I guarantee you it's going to be insane. In the past, we had Volatile Conduction with the Arc supers, and that was a ton of extra damage. So I would imagine this is going to be very similar, and we're going to end up with some crazy, crazy stuff. And with the fragment that we're going to combine, you're going to have this in pretty much every single DPS phase in the game. And that fragment is Echo of Starvation. So these 4 fragments that are locked right now, there's going to unlock after the day 1 raid is completed. But if we go ahead and take a look at it, picking up an Orb of Power grants Devour. So really all you guys need is a Warlock or a Bubble Titan, somebody just to proc their super and spawn some orbs for you guys before the DPS phase, and you guys are just going to go insane with that artifact mod. It is just guaranteed to be procced for that boss fight. Yeah, like I said, I'm actually scared of what Moebius Quiver is going to be able to accomplish here in a little over a week. But now with the numbers and the theories out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the build that I'm running with this setup. So for our abilities, I like to run Marksman Dodge because it has a lower cooldown. Also, it's going to reload my weapons. It's going to allow me to do more DPS. Otherwise, Triple Jump, Snare Bomb, obviously. Grenade is completely up to you. I like Void Wall for PvE. It's pretty nice. Otherwise, for my aspects, I like Vanishing Step and Stylus Executioner. It's going to give us 4 fragment slots, and you guys are going to be going invisible all the time, and it's going to last a very long time because with our fragments, we're going to have Echo of Persistence here, which is going to allow our invisibility over Shield and Devour to last longer. We're going to take a little bit hit in mobility, but you guys are going to be building high mobility anyways, so it's still going to remain relatively high. I'm at 93 here. Otherwise, Echo of Domineering. This is amazing. You guys are going to be suppressing all the time, and you guys are going to be able to reload your weapon from reserves. This is also great for DPS. If you guys are using like the Two-Tailed Fox, this is going to proc on the first hit, so you guys can shoot 2 rockets back to back. Otherwise, Echo of Remnants, so my grenades last longer, but if you guys aren't using like any of those, you can swap this out with a fragment of your choosing. And then otherwise, just because Moebius Quiver is insane, I want it up as much as possible, we're going to be using Echo of Reprisal here and get Final Blows while surrounded by combatants, grants super energy. Now for my armor mods, I like to run Font of Might and then also High Energy Fire, especially now that the Protective Light has been nerfed significantly. I'm not even running that anymore, so High Energy Fire is just going to straight up be a damage bonus. It's not going to take away from our survivability at all. Otherwise, Reaping Wellmaker, so we can spawn our wells after every dodge on a weapon kill. And then Elemental Charge, so we can get charged with light when we pick up that Void Elemental Well. And then also Well of Tenacity actually got a buff. This is now a 50% reduction in damage for, I believe it's like 5 seconds when you pick up the Void Well, which is going to be up fairly often with how much you guys are going to be dodging and spawning Void Wells. Also, I forgot to include this in the last video. This is my fashion right now if any of you guys are interested in copying this look. But yeah, this build is 100% going to be what I am running in the day 1 raid next week. I think this is going to be amazing. You're going to have survivability, you're going to have damage, you're going to have ad clear. You're seriously going to have it all, and I'm really excited to give it a go. But yeah, like I said, Hunter in PvE, especially Void Hunter in PvE, is not completely worth this, I promise you. So definitely give it a go. Don't get mad if people are using Hunter in your PvE games, because they're probably going to carry you in damage. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative. If you did, make sure you guys are subscribed. I have so many videos coming out here very soon in terms of builds and just looking at different mods and that type of stuff. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you guys are subscribed. We're approaching 50,000 subscribers. But anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic day. I hope you're enjoying Witch Queen, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.